How's it going, everybody? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to discuss the 10 films nominated for Best Picture at the 96th Academy Awards, the 2024 Best Picture nominees, that being the films in 2023 that got nominated for Best Picture this year. We're going to talk about, and I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to favorite, and that just basically being my favorite going to be the one I think is going to win. It will be my lock for this year's Oscars. I will also talk about other categories and I'll talk about what I think should win those categories. But for now, I'm going to mainly focus on the best pictures. So let's start off with my least favorite of the 10, The Zone of Interest, directed by Jonathan Glazer. This film is up for 5 Oscar nominations, that being Best Picture, Best International Picture, Best Director, Adapted Screenplay, and Sound. So, why is this film on the bottom of my list? I think it is an extremely well made and put together film. I think it's directed really well. Jonathan Glazer, he has the nomination for Best Director, and I think it is well earned. But the film is just really boring. And I think it is so one noted, and it only has one trick up its sleeve. It does the same thing for the entire runtime of the film. That being, the film follows the commandant of a concentration camp during the Holocaust. And the film follows his family, him and his family living at this house. And in the background, all you hear is the horrors happening of the concentration camps. You hear gunshots, you hear screams, you hear people yelling. And the whole time we're just focusing on the family. And it's just that for the whole movie. We never see anything explicit, and I think it's good to not exploit the emotions of the Holocaust so you can get sympathy points. But the film was just really boring to me. I almost fell asleep a few times, and maybe I could watch it again, but I don't entirely hate the film. The film looks incredible. The sound, it could win Best Sound this year. I hate the best sound category. Best sound mixing and sound editing, those were good categories, but the Oscars wanted more time for Jimmy Kimmel jokes. Whatever. Would I be upset if The Zone of Interest won any of these nominations? I think it'll win Best International Feature. If it won Best Director, I wouldn't be upset. Adapted Screenplay, I'm not sure. There's other films that I think are more worthy of winning. Best sound? Maybe, because those sounds in the background, they're subtle, but they're right in your face, and it's terrifying to listen to. I'm surprised this didn't get nominated for Best Editing, because there are certain moments where the editing definitely plays into getting hit, getting punched in the gut with the terrors that are going on in the background. And especially a sequence near the end where I believe the editing was just perfect right there. But overall, this just wasn't my cup of tea. I'm giving The Zone of Interest. I'm stuck between a C minus or a C. I'll go with a C just because I don't hate the film. I think there's a lot to commend for it. All the performances are great, and it looks amazing. And I think the framing is actually really interesting. I don't think the camera moves at all in the film. If it does, maybe for certain shots or very slightly, but for the most part, the camera is still in every single shot, and the framing is all great. So if Jonathan Glazer won Best Director, I wouldn't be upset. Now let's move on to American Fiction. This is the feature directorial debut of one Cord Jefferson. And this film is up for 5 Oscar nominations, that being Best Picture, Best Actor, Jeffrey Wright, Best Supporting Actor, Sterling K. Brown, Adapted Screenplay, and Score. So the film follows an author, a college professor who's also an author, and while there's a bunch of issues going on with his family life, his family back at home, his mom, his sister, his brothers, or his brother, He hears news that his book won't be published because the publisher is looking for a more black story to tell. So he is then inspired by other black stories that are being written, and he sees it as disgraceful because people see the black experience as something basically stereotyped. So he decides to write a book making fun of that, and he has to watch as the story grows bigger and bigger, and as people actually see it as a good thing where he doesn't want to see it that way. My biggest issue with this film was that it felt like two different films happening at the same time. I totally didn't mind those two stories. It just because those two ideas are clashing so much, one has the spotlight over the other sometimes, and I just wish that it was paced a little better because sometimes it feels like we forget about the other plot and then we go to the new plot, we go to the other plot and then we forget about the other plot. I'm not upset with the Jeffrey Wright nomination for Best Actor. I thought he did a pretty good job. Not upset about it. I don't think he's gonna win because I have my lock for another actor. I'll get to that later. Sterling K. Brown, thought he was good. I don't think he was amazing for a Best Actor nom. I don't think he's gonna win. I got that locked. Adapted screenplay, like I said, the pacing and it's written well. I'm just not all that super positive about the screenplay. I know it's based on a book. I'd like to read the book because I did like the film overall. I really enjoyed it. But there's a lot more strong competition in here. And the score. The score was present all throughout, but none of it's all too memorable. And I thought a few moments were a little bit sappy. Like, oh, the score came in and it feels like, oh, this is what you're supposed to feel. You know, how people are upset about scores in movies. Will it win Best Picture? No, I don't think so. It's definitely a good movie, though. I wouldn't mind watching it again. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give American Fiction a B minus. Now we're going to move on to Maestro, directed by Bradley Cooper. This film is up for 7 Oscar nominations, that being Best Picture, Actor, Actress, Original Screenplay, Cinematography, Makeup and Hairstyling, and Sound. So, Maestro tells a story about Leonard Bernstein, who is called the first great American composer-conductor, and it just follows the struggles he had in his life. Although, from what I've heard, there's a lot more that could have been done with the struggles of his life and that being portrayed in the film. Did I enjoy this film? Hell yeah, I enjoyed it. I really dug this film. When I saw that it was nominated for so many things, I was like, wow, really? No one talked about this movie. I think that was mainly because it was dumped on Netflix. But when I first heard about it, I was looking forward to it because I really like Bradley Cooper as a director. This is his second film that he has directed, the first film being A Star is Born. And I think he's a great director. Let's see. He is not nominated for Best Director. And I kind of wish that he was, because damn, he did a good job with this film. Best Actor. I wouldn't be upset if he won. I thought he was stunning. I thought he was great. Best Sound, it could win. I saw a few clips highlighting how certain scenes that he's conducting are laid with all the different music pieces, and it just sounds great. I wouldn't be upset with that. Best Actress. Corey Mulligan. She could totally win. I wouldn't be upset by it. But I don't have her as my lock. Original Screenplay? I don't think so. I think the film has some pacing issues. That and we're just kind of thrown into certain scenes every now and then without context, but we get that context a little later on. Cinematography. I wouldn't be upset. I think the film looks great. Both the black and white and the color sequences. I love the framing. Bradley Cooper's a great director, and the cinematography's all great. The lighting's great. I love the framing, camera movements. And what I like is that we focus on a lot of shots for such a long time without breaking, without cutting. We really Like we're really invested. We really dive into these scenes, and we're stuck in them for so not stuck, but we're in them for so long that we just absorb everything going on in that scene. Would I wouldn't be upset if this won Best Picture. I don't think it will though. I just really enjoyed the film. But if Bradley Cooper won Best Actor, I totally wouldn't be upset at all. I thought he was stunning in this film. I'm giving Maestro a B plus. I really dug it. Will it win hair and makeup? I don't think so. I heard a lot of people were upset because Bradley Cooper had a prosthetic large nose, but I don't think it. I don't think it looked that bad. I don't think it was offensive because Leonard Bernstein he had a big nose. I'd have to look at comparisons though, but nothing looked off-putting to me, and it didn't seem, you know, extremely big. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention to the nose though. Now let's move on to Past Lives, which is the featured directorial debut of one Celine Song. This film was up for two Oscar nominations: Best Picture and Original Screenplay. Past Lives tells a story about two friends who were romantically interested in each other. They parted ways, but their lives get, intersected at one point, and they have to confront their feelings from the past while also having to move on. I really enjoyed this film. A lot of people are enjoying this film. I would say it's possibly one of my favorites of the year. It just felt so heartfelt, and the emotions felt real. The cast did a great job. I'm surprised Celine Song didn't get nominated for Best Directing. I think the film was really well paced. Um, I wouldn't be upset if she got nominated for Best Director. I thought she did a damn good job, especially for her first feature film. I don't have a whole lot to say on it. I did review this film earlier in the year. Well, last year I reviewed the film, but I do have a lot of positives on it. If it won original screenplay, I wouldn't be upset because I thought it was a really hard hitting, emotional gut punch. I'm surprised it didn't get nominated for a best song. I'm not sure. I'm almost positive that the song. God, what's the song name? I gotta look it up. I'm almost positive that the song played in the credits was made for the film. Where is it? I'm looking at my Spotify right now. Quiet Eyes. Yeah, I'm surprised that's not nominated for best song. I definitely take it over the Billie Eilish song in Barbie. We'll get to that later. But for now, I've already reviewed Past Lives. I'm giving Past Lives a B plus. Really good. Just really, really good. Next, this is gonna be very controversial. Barbie. Barbie is up for 8 Oscar nominations. That being Best Picture, Adapted Screenplay, Supporting Actor Ryan Gosling, Supporting Actress America Ferrera, Best Songs, that being the Billie Eilish song What Was I Made For and I'm Just Ken, My Lock, Costume Design and Production Design. Will it win Best Film? No. Adapted Screenplay? I wouldn't be upset if it won, but I don't think so. Supporting Actor. Now, it's really funny that Ryan Gosling is nominated for Best Supporting Actor and Greta Gerwig's not nominated for Best Actress, because the whole joke being that it ties into the themes of the film. But Ryan Gosling was phenomenal. He was stunning in the film. So I'm not upset that he got nominated. Will he win? I don't think so. Actress, or Best Supporting Actress, America Ferrera. Will she win? No. I think she was only nominated because of the monologue that she had, which really isn't a monologue because she was talking to another character, but she was saying it out loud as if it was a monologue. I didn't mind her in the film. I thought she did good, and that scene is undoubtedly good. But for a Best Actress nomination, I don't think so. Best Songs, I'm Just Ken is going to win. I'm sorry. It's the best song. It's a banger. It's amazing. I would be upset if the Billie Eilish song won. It's kind of forgettable. And the I'm Just Ken part's the best part of the movie. And what else? Costume design. Costumes were all great. There's a lot of costumes. They're all very. They just look great. Will it win? I wouldn't be upset if it won, but I do have a lock for that. I'll get to that later. Production design. I wouldn't be upset. I have a lock for it, but I wouldn't be upset if this won because especially in the Barbie world, it just looks like Barbie houses in real life, and that's cool. All the props were great. I wouldn't be upset with that. People are upset about two things though: Greta Gerwig not being nominated for Best Director, and Margot Robbie not being nominated for Best Actress. I I'm not against those decisions because this was such a stacked year in film. 2023 was such a stacked year. And I think all of the Best Director nominees were totally warranted. People might say Martin Scorsese, but he directed the hell out of Killers of the Flower Moon. I'll get to that later. So Greta Gerwig not being nominated for Best Director, I think her directing shined more so in the Barbie Land stuff. I mean, she still did a damn good job. It was such a big project. It was such an ambitious project. And if she was nominated, I wouldn't be upset. I think she did a good job. But the other directors, I think, did a much better job. Best Actress for Margot Robbie, I don't know. If she got nominated, but I just thought that the other performances this year were definitely stronger. And she definitely gives it her all. Anyways, I forgot to mention the plot of Barbie, but you all know what it is. Barbie's feeling insecure about herself. She ends up having to go to the real world, and then she finds out what a patriarchy is. I've discussed my thoughts more on Barbie in my other review. You can go check that out on my channel. But for now, I think it's definitely going to win Best Song for I'm Just Ken. I wouldn't be upset with costume design or production design. I would not be upset with supporting actor, but I have a lock for that. I don't know if it'll win adapted screenplay though. I'm giving Barbie a B+. Now we're going to move on to what I believe are the top 5 films in the best films category. Now this was hard. The top 5 for me was definitely hard in ranking. And I'm going to be honest, 4 and 5 right here could be interchangeable. I think one is a much more impressive feat of filmmaking, but I think the other one I enjoyed more solely because of how I felt throughout watching the film. But for now, number 5, Killers of the Flower Moon is directed by Martin Scorsese. It's about how white folk are trying to get themselves involved in an Osage tribe so they can kill off the family members and take over the land for oil. This film is up for 10 Oscar nominations, that being Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Cinematography, Editing, Production Design, Costume Design, Score, and Song. Will it win Best Picture? I would not be upset if it won. I don't think it will, though. I have a lock. Best Director? I don't think so. But Martin Scorsese had this big, ambitious project. He put so much of himself into it. I love the framing and camera movements. He directed the hell out of it. I totally commend him for his effort, especially helming this 3.5 hour long film that I never felt bored with. There were a few moments where I wanted to get going along quicker, more so in the beginning, but as the film goes on, it gets more and more enjoyable. But it's weird to say that this film is enjoyable because it's about such a messed up event in the history of the United States. But if you won, I wouldn't be upset. Now, I do think this might be my lock for Best Actress. It's between this and another one, and another Stone. Lily Gladstone for Best Actress. I would not be upset if she won. I am running for her. I thought she was phenomenal. You might make the joke and say that she was just in bed the whole time, more so in the second half of the film, but she was stunning. She blew me away. She was incredible. I would not be upset if she won. I want to say she's my lock, but it's really tough between her and Emma Stone. Supporting actor Robert De Niro, would not be upset if he won. Robert De Niro is a fantastic actor. He's one of the best. Cinematography, I would not be upset if this one. I'm saying that a lot because it's such a stacked year. I'm saying it a lot. It's not my lock though. Editing, not my lock. Production design and costume design, would not be upset. Love the sets. Looks just like the time periods. Everything's great. Score, I did like the score. Not super memorable to me. I haven't gone back to listen to it since I watched the film, but it was definitely an important factor of the film. But I did feel like a lot of it was just guitar strings over and over again in certain moments. But for now, like I said, I reviewed this before. You can go check out my review later for more detailed thoughts on the film. Killers of the Flower Moon, an A-. Number 4, The Holdovers. The Holdovers is directed by Alexander Payne. I believe this is my first Alexander Payne film. And this film was nominated for 5 Oscars, that being Best Picture, Actor, Supporting Actress, Original Screenplay, and Editing. I think I'm putting Holdovers over Killers of the Flower Moon here. Killers of the Flower Moon, because I enjoyed it more, and I just felt much more warm watching it. The film's about a very strict teacher who has to watch over the holdovers during the winter break at this, I assume it's a boarding school. But the other students end up leaving and he's stuck with one, a very smart but troublesome student. So him, the teacher, the student, and the head of the cafeteria lady, the lady who is the head of the cafeteria, they all end up getting along and having a struggle with getting along over the course of the winter break. This was just such a charming film. It was so heartfelt and warm and comfortable. I'm upset I didn't watch it during Christmas time because it's basically a Christmas movie and it's so comforting. Will it win Best Picture? No, I don't think so. Best Actor, Paul Giamatti. I would not be upset if he won. I think it is a well-deserved nomination. I thought he was great in the film. I don't think he will win, though. Supporting Actress, Divine Joy Randolph. This was surprising. I heard a lot of buzz about her performance. And although she is not super present in the film, she does not have a whole lot of screen time. But the moments that she's in, she's so captivating. She has a tragic backstory. Not a backstory, an event that happened in her life that's really hard to watch at points because she's giving her all in these performances and you feel for her. You want to give her a hug. She's great in the film. I wouldn't be upset if she won Best Supporting Actress. I have a lock, though. Original Screenplay. I don't think it will win Original Screenplay. It's definitely a good screenplay. I enjoyed the dialogue moments. I just don't think it'll win. Editing. The editing wasn't something that really stood out to me. So it's really not something I don't think it'll win. But I was just so in love with this film because it's so warm and comforting, and I love the music choices. I've been listening to 2 of the songs over and over again the past few days. I watched this movie late at night. I wanted to go to bed, but I couldn't because I was so captivated by just how warm and comforting this film is. I'm stuck between an A- and an A, but I think for now, The Holdovers will get an A- for me. Top 3 films in the 2024 Best Picture 96th Academy Awards category. This was tough. These 3 films stand out above the rest. And it was so hard for me to pinpoint that because when I watched number 3, Anatomy of a Fall, I was blown away by every aspect of filmmaking. It is a technical achievement. Not that it does anything new, but it is so well put together. Anatomy of a Fall is up for 5 Oscar nominations, that being Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Original Screenplay, and Editing. I would say this. I am very upset that Milo Machado Grainer is not nominated for Best Supporting Actor. That was one of the best child performances I've seen in my life. I don't know if it's because it's a foreign if it's like a foreign film and he's a child. But damn it, he was good. He was electric. He gave it his all. If he got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, bam, that's my lock. But alas, he's not nominated. I thought the kid was great though. He was electric. Sandra Hüller. If she won, I would not be upset. She was stunning. She gave it her all. There's so much she has to go through. She's speaking multiple languages here. And wow. Would I be upset if this won Best Film? Not at all. I think it's well deserved in every category it's up for, especially director. The director is Justine Triet. Also, this film won the Palme d'Or at Cannes that last year. So, the highest achievement you can get at Cannes. Whoa, this was a film to get through. It is a crime drama thriller. And it's about two writers who are married, husband, wife. They have a son who has a lot of issues with his sight. He's almost blind, basically. One day, the son comes home from a walk and he finds that his dad has fallen and died from the house. He didn't see the fall, he just sees his body. So investigators are trying to frame the wife for murder. So the whole film is about trying to defend herself in court. I was so tense throughout the film. There's so many twists and turns. And Justine Triet directed the hell out of this. She has so many different styles. We're watching archival footage at points. There's flashbacks, specific camera push-ins, especially in those like archival footage moments. And the camera movement and framing are so important to this film, especially about perspective of characters and what they're feeling from other characters in the framing. It is so damn unique and important. I do not think that these categories were unearned. Every category here is well deserved for a nomination. I would not be upset if this won every single category here. I'm stuck between an A minus and an A, and that's basically what I'm going to say for the next two films. Anatomy of a Fall, top 3 film for me of the year. It was phenomenal. At least in the top 10 films here in the Oscar category. Now, the top 2 films were very tough for me to choose because they're so damn unique. They're so creative. They're technical marvels in each of their fields. But alas, I enjoyed one more than the other. Number 2, Poor Things, is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. This is up for 11 Oscar nominations, that being Best Picture, Best Director, Actress, Supporting Actor, Adapted Screenplay, Score, Production Design, Cinematography, Makeup and Hairstyling, Costume Design, and Editing. Every category is well earned. This film was incredible. I loved every second of it. Will it win Best Picture? I don't think so. I really wanted to, though. These 3 films, Poor Things, Anatomy of a Fall, and the next film, which I'll talk about in a second. I wouldn't be upset if any of those won. These films are phenomenal. Poor Things is very disturbing at points, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to make you feel uneasy, especially with what's going on. The film is about how a woman committed suicide, but a deranged scientist found the body, but found that the woman was pregnant. So he took the brain out of the baby and put it in the mother's body and is experimenting on her as she grows up, trying to figure out how she develops, the baby being in an adult body. It's so weird. It's so weird. But I loved it. It's extremely funny. If it won adapted screenplay, I would not be upset. But Emma Stone for Best Actress. Whoa. I'm rooting for Lily Gladstone because she was stunning, but what Emma Stone had to do, her etiquette for the character. Oh wow, she was stunning. She was electric. Possibly the best performance of the year. She's up there, both actress and actor. I would not be upset if she won. She is up there with Lily Gladstone. Lily Gladstone, Sandra Hüller, Emma Stone. I would not be upset if any of those three won, but I do think Emma Stone deserves it. I want Lily Gladstone to win, but I do think Emma Stone deserves it. Emma Stone might be my lock for Best Actress. She was great. Now, costume design, that's my lock. Production design, maybe. Maybe. It's between that and another film. Cinematography, I would not be upset. It's a very colorful yet somewhat drab looking film, but that's the point. The black and white sequences are amazing. The colored sequences are great. It has people are calling it steampunk. Or not, they're calling it. It is. It's a mixture of genres, and the film expresses each of those genres well in the cinematography. The costumes they pop out. Costume design. This might be my lock. This might be my lock for costume design. The costumes are all great. They're stunning. They're colorful. They're beautiful. It's amazing. Editing. I'm not too sure about editing. There's a lot of editing. I loved the editing because we totally get into different headspaces of seeing these different angles. We feel claustrophobic at points. We're able to bask in the beauty of it all, of characters walking in the settings. I wouldn't be upset if it won. I don't think it will, though. That's kind of all I have to say about it for now without doing a full-on review. It has been a while since I've seen it. A few more things, though. Supporting actor, Mark Ruffalo. Wow. I did not expect that performance out of him. Last year, I watched 13 Going on 30 with my buddy who came up to stay with me for a few days. It's funny to see Mark Ruffalo in that movie. And then in this movie, totally different characters. Mark Ruffalo is an amazing actor. I think he's great. He pulled off that performance very well. And he's a big part of the movie. He's in a large chunk of the film. And, God, he was so hysterical, too. I would like to do a separate review on Poor Things at some point later on, but I need to watch it again. It's really damn good. I'm stuck between an A minus and an A because it's so weird and different. Did I say this was up for score? Poor Things? If I didn't, it's up for score. I thought the score was very unique. It's so different from any other film score I've heard. There's a lot of off-tune, guitar or plucking of violins or cellos, whatever. It totally amplifies the weirdness of this entire film and the uniqueness and strangeness of it all. But as much as I love the score, it's not my lock. I think a lot of my locks for everything, or most things, are with my number one choice. Oppenheimer is directed by Christopher Nolan, and it is up for 13 Oscar nominations. It is leading the Oscars this year with the most nominations for Best Picture, Director, Actor, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, Adapted Screenplay, Cinematography, Costume Design, Editing, Makeup and Hairstyling, Score, Production Design, and Sound. Now, I do think Oppenheimer might just sweep, except for costume design. I think costume design is going to definitely go to Poor Things or Barbie. I want Poor Things. But I would not be upset if Oppenheimer swept. Best Picture, I think it is a very important film. Christopher Nolan, I think he will get this director nomination. He will get this director win. He is my lock for director. This is my lock for best film, best director. Cillian Murphy for best actor. Robert Downey Jr. for best supporting actor. Emily Blunt for best supporting actress. That's my lock. My lock for adapted screenplay. Not cinematography. not costume design. Not sure about editing, but I wouldn't be upset. Makeup and hairstyling, definitely. Score. Now, I am very sure that this will win best score this year. Ludwig Göransson is a fantastic composer, and although I heard this argument that Poor Things deserves to win best score because it's doing something new, because it's doing something that hasn't really been done in other film scores. And although that's true, I do think Oppenheimer has the best score. When I saw Oppenheimer at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood last year in the 70 millimeter IMAX, the most pure way to watch it, after that, me and my friends were talking about it for a bit, and my buddy said the score is possibly the most important part of the film because it's its own character. And I haven't stopped thinking about that because the score, the film is, how do I say it? They complement each other so well. The pacing of the film, how each scene is edited, and it's just such a damn good score. If it doesn't win, I would be upset. um, or if it goes to something like American Fiction, which wasn't a bad score, but much more deserving are Poor Things and Oppenheimer. Can You Hear the Music? Is possibly one of my favorite pieces of film music in my life. It is so like magical. It really sets the tone for the rest of the film. But those are my locks. Basically, you can see. I'll post my locks on Instagram later. You can check the link in the bio for that. But Oppenheimer, I kind of got off track there. Oppenheimer's about the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer as he joins the Manhattan Project to create a nuclear bomb, and it follows his life through that and through the controversies afterwards of people suspecting him of being a communist and the guilt he has about how the atomic bomb was used. But Cillian Murphy gives it his all. Christopher Nolan, I think, is the strongest director out of the nominations because his presence, I think, is felt the most out of any director in the category. This was one of the biggest films of the year. I have it on 4K. Look, I have it on 4K. I don't buy movies in 4K, even though I don't have a device that can play 4K movies. I got it because once I do, I will have this and no one can take it away from me. This film right here is special. On the cover, it says one of the best movies of the century. I'm not upset with that claim. I think it's so damn important, and the scope of it is just huge. I wouldn't be upset with cinematography or production design. I went off a little off track there, or went on weird tangents, but that's just what I think about Oppenheimer. It's phenomenal. You can go see my review on it for much more detailed thoughts. And I'm stuck between an A minus and an A after having seen it a second time and then currently, on rewatches. It's just so damn special. I think Oppenheimer is fantastic, and I believe it will win Best Picture. I said I wanted to talk about other categories in the Oscars this year, and there's really only two more I just want to discuss, or the two other categories, because I went through a lot of them through the best films. Hair and makeup, score, cinematography, directing, yada yada. There's only two more categories I really want to talk about. That being best visual effects and best animated film. Let's go with best animated film. For best animated film, there is The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Get Elemental out of there, please. I know I really liked it when I first watched it, and my review, I was very positive about it. But please get it out of there. Ninja Turtles was so much better and so much more enjoyable. Come on. I didn't see Nimona, I didn't see Robot Dreams, but I did see The Boy and the Heron and Across the Spider-Verse. Now, what will win? I want Across the Spider-Verse to win, but I think they're going to give it to The Boy and the Heron because it's Miyazaki's final film again, and he's coming back with more stories apparently. I don't know if he's going to direct or just write, but I wouldn't be upset if The Boy and the Heron won, because only one anime film has won Best Animated Film, that being Spirited Away, and that was the second. That was the second year that was the second award, the second year of the existence of Best Animated Feature, because we all know Shrek won the first year. I wouldn't be upset with The Boy and the Heron one. I just have a lot of issues with it. You can go check my review on it on my previous video where I discussed my 2023 film roundout. I want Across the Spider-Verse to win because I remember I wanted The Boy and the Heron to be better than Across the Spider-Verse, because I was like, it's the Across the Spider-Verse. I do have my issues with it, but what it does is so extremely new in terms of its animation. It's such a visual treat. But The Boy and the Heron is another visual treat because it's a hand drawn. It's because it's a 2D hand drawn anime film. It looks incredible. It's beautiful. Every shot looks stunning. Oh, let's talk about best score for a second. Although I do have my lock for Oppenheimer. Where is it? Although I have my lock for Oppenheimer, people are very upset for for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Although the score was the best part of the film, come on, you had The Boy and the Heron there. Although I don't think it was. No, I think that's just for Best Picture. I'm thinking about something else. The Boy and the Heron had a better score. It's very important to the film. It definitely amplifies the moments there. Just get that out of there, because although the score is the best part of the film, it's not super memorable to me. Okay, now the big one. Special effects, visual effects. The nominations are The Creator, the biggest surprise being Godzilla -1, the first Godzilla film, both American and Japanese, to be nominated for Best Visual Effects. Or an Oscar, mind you. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. I've seen all of these except Napoleon. I'm not sure how good the special effects are in there, but I wouldn't be upset if Dungeons and Dragons was nominated for Best Visual Effects. I thought the visual effects in there were stunning. But if I do have a lock for this, it's The Creator. That film, the cinematography was great. Greg Fraser's a great cinematographer, but it wasn't nominated. But it's such a damn good looking film, and the special effects in there play into that as well. Wow. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how good that movie looks. But I would not be upset. These are all strong categories. These are all strong films. I'm not upset at the nominations there. Mission Impossible, if that won, that's cool. Also, let's get Best Stunt Work as a category, please, Oscars. These guys put their lives on the line so we can watch cool movies like that. Mission Impossible was a great film. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 had a lot of special effects, and they all looked great. If that won, I would not be upset at all. But I'm stuck between -1 and The Creator, but I said my lock was The Creator. I want The Creator to win. But if Godzilla won, I think it would be so cool. Okay, so that was my thoughts on the 96th Academy Awards 2024 Best Picture nominees, the films from 2023. So, what did you think about all of those films? What are your locks? What do you think is going to win Best Picture this year? Tell me what you thought about in the comments below, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So, yeah, bye.